My tackle box hit the dirt with a thud, scattered lures glinting like shrapnel under the noon sun. Karen's shrill voice sliced through the quiet, "You're done fishing, you lake rat." I froze, rod in hand, staring at this clipboard-wielding tyrant in yoga pants, her HOA badge gleaming like a sheriff's star. She'd stormed my shore, her husband Greg trailing like a scolded dog, muttering apologies. I'd lived in this cabin for a decade, its cedar walls holding every memory of my late dad, who taught me to cast a line before I could walk. This lake, this land, it was ours, deeded to my family for generations. Yet here was Karen, queen of the new HOA, demanding I vacate my own home for unapproved fishing. The absurdity almost made me laugh, but her venomous glare killed the urge. "You're ruining our community aesthetic," she snapped, waving a neon-orange eviction notice. I glanced at the lake, its surface calm, mocking her rage. My blood boiled, but I kept my voice low. "Karen, you don't own this lake." Her eyes narrowed. "We'll see about that." This wasn't just about fishing. It was war. Karen had moved into the new gated community across the lake 6 months ago, her McMansion dwarfing the pines. The HOA, her personal fiefdom, had already bullied neighbors into compliance, fining Old Man Jenkins for his wildflower garden, banning kids' treehouses. But me? I wasn't some weekend camper. I was Caleb Reed, sole owner of this 200-acre lake and the surrounding land, including the plot her precious HOA sat on. She didn't know that yet. I'd kept my title quiet, preferring solitude over squabbles. Big mistake. That morning, I'd woken to her pounding on my door, accusing me of poaching fish from HOA waters. I showed her my deed, but she scoffed, claiming her lawyer would fix it. Now, she'd escalated, dumping my gear and slapping me with her fake eviction. Greg shuffled, avoiding my gaze. "Maybe we can talk this out," he mumbled. Karen whirled on him. "Shut it, Greg. He's gone by sundown." I stepped closer, towering over her. "You're on my land, Karen. Check the county records." Her face twitched, but she doubled down, screaming about bylaws and eminent domain. I realized then, she wasn't just clueless, she was dangerous. Her ego could burn this place to ash. I needed a plan, fast. By afternoon, Karen had rallied her HOA minions, 6 neighbors in polo shirts, clutching petitions. They marched to my cabin, chanting about community standards. I stood on my porch, deed in hand, but they wouldn't listen. Karen had spun a tale: I was a squatter, a threat to their property values. One guy, Tom, sneered, "Your junky cabin's an eyesore." Junky? This cabin was my dad's legacy, every nail driven by his hands. I swallowed my rage and called my lawyer, Sarah, who laughed when I explained. "Caleb, you own their lots. They're tenants, technically. Want to evict them?" Tempting, but I wasn't Karen. I wanted peace, not revenge yet. Sarah promised to rush over with documents. Meanwhile, Karen's crew trashed my dock, snapping my canoe paddle and slashing my nets. The lake, once my sanctuary, felt like a battlefield. I snapped a photo of the damage, my hands shaking. This wasn't about aesthetics. Karen wanted control, and my defiance was her kryptonite. As dusk fell, the tension peaked. Karen returned with a tow truck, claiming she'd haul my truck for illegal parking. Greg looked mortified, whispering, "She's gone too far." I agreed. It was time to fight back. I grabbed my megaphone, Dad's old fishing trick for scaring herons, and climbed my roof. "Listen up," I boomed. The HOA crowd froze. "This lake, this land, it's mine. Your houses, built on my property. Keep pushing, and I'll foreclose your lots." Gasps rippled. Karen's face drained of color. "Liar," she shrieked, but doubt flickered in her eyes. Sarah arrived, waving certified deeds. "He's right," she called. Caleb's family owns it all. You're leaseholders, at his mercy. The crowd turned on Karen, muttering. Tom, red-faced, stammered, you said the HOA owned the lake. Karen sputtered, but her authority crumbled. Greg stepped forward, voice firm for once. Karen, stop this. She ignored him, lunging for Sarah's papers. I jumped down, blocking her. Enough, I growled. The tow truck driver, sensing the shift, drove off. Karen's allies scattered, leaving her alone, clutching her clipboard like a lifeline. I could have ended it there, evicted her, sued for damages. But I saw her trembling, her bravado masking fear. She wasn't evil, just lost in her own power trip. I lowered my voice. Karen, go home. Fix this, or I will. She fled, Greg trailing. Sarah clapped my shoulder. You're too nice. Maybe. But this lake was my heart, not a weapon. That night, I sat by the water, stars reflecting like lures. The fight wasn't over. Karen wouldn't quit easily. I'd need to protect my land, maybe even rethink my solitude. For now, though, the lake was mine again, whispering my dad's lessons, stand firm, but don't hate. Peace felt closer, but the scars of the day lingered, etched in the mud and broken nets. The next morning, the lake shimmered, but the air felt heavy. Karen hadn't backed down. I spotted her across the shore, rallying a smaller, angrier HOA crew, their signs demanding my eviction. She'd twisted the truth again, painting me as a greedy landlord ready to bulldoze their homes. My gut churned. This wasn't just about her ego now, she'd weaponized fear. Sarah, my lawyer, warned me, she's filed a countersuit, claiming adverse possession. It's weak, but she's betting on delay. Delay meant legal fees, stress, maybe losing the lake to her lies. I couldn't let that happen. Dad's voice echoed, fight smart, not cruel. I called a community meeting, inviting every HOA member to my cabin. Karen scoffed, but 30 neighbors showed up, curious. I laid it all bare: deeds, tax records, my family's century-long stewardship of the land. I'm not evicting anyone, I said. But Karen's breaking us apart. Tom, the guy who'd called my cabin junkie, nodded slowly. Others murmured agreement. Karen barged in, shouting about squatters' rights, but Greg grabbed her arm. Enough, Karen. You lied. The room turned. Her allies shrank, even her clipboard seemed smaller. She stormed out, but the damage was done. Her reign was over. By noon, the HOA voted to dissolve her presidency. Greg apologized, offering to repair my dock. I accepted, seeing his shame. Karen vanished into her McMansion, blinds drawn. Sarah filed a restraining order for the vandalism, but I didn't press charges. Revenge wouldn't heal the lake's scars or mine. Weeks later, the shore was quiet again. I fixed my nets, rebuilt the dock with Tom's help, and taught his kids to fish. The community softened. Jenkins replanted his wildflowers, kids built new treehouses. I leased their lots formally, dirt cheap, to kill any doubt. Karen stayed silent, her lawsuit dropped. Greg said she was rethinking things. I hoped so, but her shadow lingered in the torn nets I'd salvaged. One evening, casting my line, I realized the lake had taught me more than fishing. It demanded I stand up, not just for myself, but for what binds us, not control. Karen's chaos had broken something, but it also woke us up. The land was safe, but its peace was fragile, earned through scars. I'd never hide my deed again. This lake is my heart, and I'll fight for it, always. Share your story, stand for what's yours. Don't let a Karen steal your peace.